I've been asked by some people about British accents, so I just wanted to explain a little bit about what my accent is and how it sounds. As you can see from the screen, um, I have what is commonly referred to as RP, which is received pronunciation. Um, I didn't know that until I became an English teacher and began looking at accents and dialects and pronunciation and IPA and all those kinds of things. Um, I just thought I was non-accented in the sense that I'd lived in lots of different places and had lost the accent I was born with. So a bit of background. I was actually born in Birmingham, which is the second largest city in the UK, or England rather. I'm not sure if it's second largest in the UK. Certainly the second largest in England. Right in the centre of the country, and has a very strong accent depending on which area you visit. I then moved down to the southwest, Weston-super-Mare, where they speak with a bit of a West Country accent, farmers twang, and picked up that when I was young. And then, as a youngster, I went to boarding school with lots and lots of people from all around the country and all over the world, where I basically lost my accent altogether. Um, and we all kind of spoke very much the same, regardless of where we were from. So I always thought that I just had no accent. And although my family would often mock me for the way that I spoke because it was different to them, calling me posh and whatnot, it's just the way that I spoke. It's just the way that I was kind of trained to speak, I suppose, at school. But becoming an English teacher, looking into pronunciation, learning about phonics and that sort of thing, became aware of this thing called received pronunciation. And I'm not sure where the term comes from, but I guess in a way I did receive it. I didn't. It doesn't belong anywhere, really. It is more southern England, but everywhere in England has a different accent and dialect, and nobody in the UK really has no accent whatsoever. There's nothing wrong with not having an accent. There's nothing wrong with having an accent. But I guess having received pronunciation as your way of speaking makes you slightly easier to understand wherever you go, because you tend to enunciate a little bit more, speak a little bit more stiffly, use less slang, and generally just sound plain, I guess would be a good description. It's quite a plain way of speaking. It's not the Queen's English, which some people find strange. They think, oh, the Queen's English, that's posh, that must be received pronunciation. No, people like the Queen, who sadly passed away recently, but we all know how she spoke, did not speak with received pronunciation. She had a very, just a generally posh and rather unusual accent. Recent statistic that I heard was only 3% of people in the UK speak with a truly pure received pronunciation. And even I notice myself slipping into certain accents from time to time, depending on how people around me are pronouncing words. I now live in Hong Kong, so don't hear many people speaking English with received pronunciation. And I guess over time my accent will change. Although when I teach, I do like to speak a bit slower than normal, and I do try to enunciate my syllables more clearly, a bit like this, than I would do if I was speaking to somebody who is a native speaker. So what is received pronunciation? Well, as you can see here, it's an instantly recognisable, traditional, typically British, although not spoken by that many people. Here, well known but not widely used. Interestingly, when you look at a dictionary, which I'll look at in a moment, you can see pronunciation help above the word, which is written in something called the IPA, which is the International Phonetic Alphabet. And all the words you'll find in there, whether it's the Cambridge Dictionary or the Oxford Dictionary or Collins or whatever, they will have pronunciation help. In fact, let's have a look. So, dictionary. So if I type a word in here, let's look at the word pronunciation. which has not been, my fat fingers have butchered, don't know why. You'll see here the IPA for the British, the UK pronunciation, and the US pronunciation. And all of the UK pronunciations will be transcribed in RP, in the RP pronunciation. So you can see here, p, r, s, e, a, sh, pronunciation, as opposed to other parts of the UK where they might mispronounce the word, like pronunciation or pronunciation, if you're up north. But all of the transcriptions of how to say words in the dictionary are in RP, so they don't match local accents. A bit of Chinese coming through there. So let's pick some words in the dictionary and see what the received pronunciation actually sounds like. Let's look up a word like, I don't know. Let's just start typing, see what pops up. Let's look at this word. Let's see how it tells us to say it. So we've got the IPA here. D, sh, e, haberdashery, haberdashery, haberdashery. And you can see this little apostrophe there is where the stress will come. So haberda comes after the apostrophe da, haberdashery, haberdashery. And that's how it would like you to say the word. So that's what RP is. If you want to know what RP is, you just look at the dictionary and read as it's being transcribed. Because obviously accents will change the way you say words, but the IPA is consistent. Okay, let's look at another word. For example, start with G. G. Okay, now this is a word that gets pronounced strangely by lots of people. So we've got a starting sound here. G. That's interesting. K, and here's our stress. So it's going to be guacamole, 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 guacamole,
Guacamole.
guacamole. So it's strange, I say guacamole, but guacamole. So maybe my received pronunciation isn't as inbuilt as I thought. So if I was to read this sentence here, I would say a thick mixture of avocado, a green tropical fruit, tomato, onion, and spices, usually eaten cold. Tomato, not tomato. Let's have a look actually, so how the dictionary tells us to pronounce it. And then you've got the stress. Tomato. So the dictionary tells us in the UK we should pronounce it like tomato. That's the way they think British people should say it. And in the US they will say tomato. 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 So I say tomato, they say tomato, and the rest of the UK goes along with it. Let's pick another word here. There we go. How should we pronounce this word? 2 words. There's a stress there right at the beginning, so sea sea anemone. Sea anemone. So only one stress in there, as opposed to sea anemone or sea anemone. Sea anemone. Nope. Sea anemone. Sea anemone. So if you want to know how to pronounce words, look at the dictionary. Here is your received pronunciation, and it sounds like this. A soft, brightly coloured sea creature that looks like a flower and often lives on rocks under the water. There's a full stop there, capital letter. I wouldn't be very happy with that if it came in somebody's homework. One more, and then we'll call it a day on this video. Just have a word I would never normally use. How does it tell us we should say it? Stress at the beginning, bar, Oh, barnacle, barnacle, barnacle. That is how I say it, but if I didn't know how to pronounce the word and I wanted to pronounce it the way a British person should say it, it would be barnacle, barnacle. With the stress at the beginning, barnacle. In America, they would pronounce the extra R sound here. Barnacle, 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 barnacle. So British, American, RP is always the way it's transcribed. Any questions, drop me a line. I'll be very happy to answer them for you. If you want anything read out in RP, send me the text. I'll read it and send it straight back.